too.
Calling from a 773 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Well, if you're talking to me, it's Tim's dad. I'm in Utah.
Hey.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Tim Pool's. Is this Tim Pool's actual dad?
Well, that's what the birth certificate said. I'd have to ask his mom, though, to be sure.
Well, okay, so
yes, this is Tim's dad.
I don't. Yeah, I've seen you comment before on our show, so I just want to. This is the same Tim Pool's dad that had commented before.
And we can't confirm this,
Correct.
but says you, and we're
taking your word for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see your beanie.
It's the same guy that was happy with your response when you were on Tim's show, and that I argued calling you a PDF based upon your against book banning was moronic. But
Right.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, well.
What's your reaction?
I'm here to talk to you. Now, I'm not going to crap on my son. He's still
Right.
my son. I disagree with many of his productions. And if you watch, I do have videos that address when I disagree with his productions.
Well,
Right.
So you do have a YouTube channel, right? What's your reaction to this story that essentially Tim seems to have gotten money via unwittingly, but from Russian assets essentially, who want there to be more anti-Ukraine content out there?
Well, most of the production on the right supports, unfortunately, what Russia wants to sell. Now, me personally, I go with the DOJ, all right, because what they're saying is these YouTubers, Ruben and Tim, contracted with a company in Tennessee that was owned by two Canadians. Now, what's the due diligence expected to find out exactly where all the money comes from? Now, I don't support his most of his products don't really concern me. A lot of them are social things that don't really make a difference. But when I hear views on the LGBTQ, or when I see things about the Ukraine. Look, the Ukraine didn't ask for Russia to invade. So do I like money going out to Ukraine? I don't like money going to anybody when we have a $36 trillion deficit, okay? But if we don't stop Putin like we didn't with Crimea, he's going to be emboldened. So we have to at least support Ukraine, or we're going to eventually put our own people on the ground, and I don't support that. But right now, I'm looking at this from the DOJ's perspective, and until they get a better look into the investigation, I'm going to defer to them that all Ruben, Tim, and these other guys did was take the money and run. And Tim, on his show, said that he basically just licensed the production that he already does for them to show. So people on the left or right are going to take their own viewpoints. I'm trying to be impartial and non-biased when I deal with my son, as when I deal with all left or rights. I've gone into some left-leaning publications and I get called out when I actually give an unbiased look into it, and they start, FMing me because it doesn't coincide with their echoes. And so I try to be true. I try to be impartial. I don't agree with a lot of his productions, and then I voice it. Now, I don't directly attack the person. I attack the production. And when people start attacking the person, like when Tim called you a PDF because you were against book banning, I'm like, no, you just lost the disagreement, because now you're not addressing the individual topic. You're going after the person. So that's my viewpoints, and that's where I stand on most of that.
Mr. Poole, I want a question.
Sure, go ahead.
For you.
Yep.
His first initial response is saying that he's in fact a victim of this. What's your reaction to that? Do you think that's an advised way to, respond to this?
Well, PR is a big moneymaker in this world, and if you don't respond properly, you just hung yourself. So calling yourself a victim probably isn't the way to go. I mean, that's acting like a victim has no control over what happens. It's like when somebody says she asked for it because she had a high skirt. Well, she doesn't come out and say she's a victim because she wore a skirt. So, Yeah, probably not the best choice of words, but a lot of the times in his video productions, I don't like his choice of words. But he's selling a product to people that want to buy the product. So as long as he's not complicit with Russia, I'm going to not hang him. I'm not going to hang him.
Well,
Well, we don't want to hang
want
him
that
either.
either.
No.
Yeah, I'm curious though. I mean,
Discredit permanently.
Yeah.
there's been a lot of money pouring in, I guess, for Tim and for his. I obviously I went to his compound. I saw
Yep.
where he's at there. I mean, what's your reaction to how much money Tim has really been making in this space, even though obviously you have some disagreements with what he's putting out there?
I can't comment to how much he's making. I mean, yeah, he puts on a show and he shows a skateboard park. I'm like, me personally, if I was making money on my videos, I wouldn't be telling you how much I'm making. I mean, not to be, hiding or anything, but if you're in a business and you don't tell the people giving you money to support your product that you're going out and spending it on a skateboard park or thing. So I don't agree with him on showing it, but I don't know how much he makes. I don't talk to him about his money, his business. It's his. I don't, people challenge me on my videos saying that I'm jealous of his success and I want his money. And I'm like, where do you think I live? Do you think I'm in the gutter somewhere? Or I don't need his money. So what's your, they're just
well, then people may ask Mr. Pool, why call into our show?
It's Mike.
Oh,
It's
Mike.
Well, no, because I watch your show and I put in comments, sometimes and this is a discussion.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people, I don't like, I'm not, who's the man with the beard? I'm lousy on names.
Sam Cedar.
Or Matt Bender.
No,
or if you're talking about me right here, then I'm Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Matt seems pretty, see, I always listen to make sure that people are trying to be fair and not biased. And you guys seem to present that pretty good. And Matt is speaking fairly, where most people are going to sit there and start, calling Tim a complete Russian asset, that he was raised in Russia, something, and slowly brought over to America, but Matt seemed pretty fair, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm just like, I don't want social platforms to be left or right. I want impartiality, and I want both sides of the story. And Matt seems to be putting it out there in a fair, unbiased way. So I thought I'd call in and put in my 2 cents, because, like I say, I only go with the DOJ, and I get into arguments with my sons because they evidently go by a preponderance of the evidence. Well, no, I need definitive facts before I hang you. I'm not going to hang you based upon hearsay or things like that, and that's why we disagree. I'm more definitive, legally based when I hang somebody.
Right.
That makes
I
sense.
first of all, I appreciate that, Mike. And I want to say that it from what it looks like, you just looking at the evidence and everything, it's just it appears that that's the story that we know to be true as of right now, and that is that people like Pool and Rubin were not told the full information. Now we can talk about how they should have gotten more information, and they should have, but with what they did know, they did not have any idea that there was 2 RT employees at the behest of the Russian government working to basically build up this tenant media channel using Tim Pool and Dave Rubin and Benny Johnson's audience. But like I did say, I do think that they picked those individuals because they felt like that they had already aligned with their interests based on, what they previously have said in videos.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to start buying somebody's videos unless they reference what I'm trying to sell. Okay,
Right.
So 100%, and like I say, that's fair. When I get out there, I expect people to address the topic, not because they dislike Tim or Ruben because of the products they sell. And believe me, I'm not going out there telling people I appreciate Tim and his podcast and his position. Like I say, if you look at some of the videos, I think I started a long time ago, like a year ago, and I put out 1,000. I keep them short, 5 minutes, and I try to just give my perspective, whether it's life in general or if it's addressing one of Tim's. I don't do it a lot, but I just try to, I'm a Marine, I'm a firefighter. I got a few things in my brain that I might be able to share, and that's what I do. Now, in this instance, am I defending Tim? Am I being biased? I'm just deferring to the DOJ now until they come out with the whole story. Now, quickly, as a fireman, we would be at incidents, a fire, an explosion, car. We'd get back to the firehouse and we'd turn on the news. And guess what? They're talking about where we just came from, and they are totally wrong. They're trying to be the first to address the topic, to try to get you to zoom in, to stay with their channel. and then eventually they get it right. So I always kind of defer till let's get the whole story before you hang somebody. That's all. And you guys are seeing, I like the way you report. You're pretty. I mean, you called him out for some, idiotic questions, but for the most part, I think you're fair on both sides of the fence when you address topics, and that's why I'm actually talking to you.
I appreciate that. Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Do you? We'll let you go in a sec, but I just. Do you have a sense of does Tim like your videos? Does he appreciate you calling?
Has he ever mentioned them at all
into this show? Yeah. Does he mention them? I mean, I know that I don't think he has very kind feelings about myself or Sam or Matt Binder for that matter. So I guess I'm just interested what his perspective is on you watching our show and calling in.
Oh, I don't discuss politics. I got into an hour-long, disagreement with my other son, going back and forth over alternate or fake electors. And luckily my hike didn't take me long at all because I didn't realize where I was. But yeah, I mean, we don't discuss, his topics. I don't even know. I asked him once if he knew I had my own video production. I don't think he pays attention to things that really aren't impacting him. And I mean, he is pretty busy pushing, selling, doing his things, and more power to him. He's created something. And now if he owned a gun shop, I don't think I'd be happy with him selling guns, but it is a product that people buy. So am I going to hang him because he's producing something that half of the people want to listen to? Unfortunately, I have always questioned, where does the money come on both sides? You can't divide America unless you have two sides, and we have both sides. And maybe we need to look at see where all the money comes in. I don't know whether it's revenue from the video productions, if it's donations, because you have memberships now. And usually I don't even go to a place. If I can't comment without paying a membership, I move on.
I hear you.
Right.
All right.
That's why I like you guys. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for the
that.
kind words. Appreciate it. And where can people find your YouTube channel, Mike?
TimPoolDad. It's just TimPoolDad.
TimPoolDad. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But like I say, I aggravate a bunch of people, and I love dealing with ignorant trolls that attack me personally rather than the topic, because it's just so easy to debate.
Do you hear from Tim's audience, and are those the types that you're talking about? Like, do they get angry that you disagree with your son on political topics?
Oh yeah, they're the ones that call me and say I'm jealous of his success. And a lot of times I'll actually go into his video productions, and then I call out the stupid people that are making stupid comments, and they just love that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, they'll say something like the alternate electors, why is that criminal? Well, because the state didn't pick them; they decided themselves. So they are fake by statute, not by my interpretation. And that's when they call off saying, "Oh, you just want his money," and I'm just like, "What are you insane?" I mean, and I did a video the other day about success, because they're comparing me. They say, "Well, Elon's more intelligent and successful than you." I said, "Well, first off, you don't know me, you don't know him, so you don't know how intelligent we are. And second, success is a subjective interpretation. So, I've got everything I need. I got a wife, a beautiful wife, my dog, my family I talk to. So for me, being a Marine and a former firefighter, yeah, I think I've been pretty successful in my life. And I think people, are
more honorable life than Elon Musk.
Well, what I'm just saying is, when I finally take my last breath, I'll remember all the people I was able to help when they were in their worst possible situation. And I'll find comfort in that as I close those eyes. That's what I find as being successful. None of my kids are killers. They're not in prison yet, so I'm going for that so far.
There you go.
There you go. Well, I appreciate the sentiment, and thank you for being so open-minded and calling in and giving us your perspective on what's happening.
And for listening.
With Tim and for listening. Yeah, of course. Well,
like I said, your crews and everything seem pretty fair. I haven't had anybody MFing me yet in the, in the comments or anything. And like I say, your perspective doesn't have to match mine, and that doesn't mean one's wrong. And that's what I try to explain to people. You can see something from a different side than me. We can have different perspectives, but it doesn't mean either one of us are wrong. We can discuss it and determine why they're different. That's all.
Precisely.
Here.
But I appreciate you guys. I do think you are. I think you are a truthful organization that puts out counter, thoughts. And the problem is here we can't discuss to find out how to fix the problem. We just want to throw rocks at the other people for having a problem, and we're not going to get anywhere until we finally decide to address the problem in a manner to try to fix it, rather than making money by volleying it back and forth. And I'm not crapping on you guys. I'm just saying this is the way it goes. We go back and forth. And now you're going to have people on the left having a shark frenzy on Tim, calling him, a Russian asset and a Russian bot and all this, because that's the way we're going rather than address the problem. So I want America to get off their dumb butts and get back to where we used to be and discuss the problem without trying to rip somebody's trachea out because they disagree with us.
Agreed. Thank you so much for calling in.
Well, thank you guys for taking my time. I've tried calling in before, but I never get through the.
Some of our viewers alerted us that you were trying to call in, so I'm glad that.
Autumn was great. Yeah,
moderator Autumn.
Thank you for our mods.
Autumn was putting it out. Yeah, Autumn was I don't know gender or anything, but Autumn was putting out the shop pretty good.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Autumn. Thanks, Mike. Have a good one.
Thanks, Autumn. No, thank you guys, and stay truthful. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.